So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Waverley Basketball Association here.
And we're back with the BigV Round 1 State Championship men's team playing off against the Bulleen Boomers.
And the state champ men played last night against Sherbrooke and got a good win up over them.
Yep.
But coming out of that game, the bad news for the Falcons is that Chris Arkell, even though he's suited up and he's on the bench there, is picked up a bit of an injury. So it's uncertain at the moment how much time he'll actually
get on the court and
yeah,
be able to play the game. And so that's down for Waverley Falcons because Boomers, their coach Ben Draper is apparently doing very well this season.
Yep.
And then we have our coach, Waverley Falcons, Andrew Sherwell, who did coach last year and was a fantastic coach to get us into the semi-finals.
Yeah, and of course Andy also was the assistant coach for the Dandenong Rangers WNBL team, along with Mark Wright there as well. So,
yep,
he's a very experienced coach.
Yes,
along the way. So, and making his 2015 debut, of course, is Sadal Threat, back for another year. It's probably uncertain that we'll see Sadal play every game
next season.
Well, I don't know about next season. I think he's got it in him, but he's going to probably take a bit of time, and we'll just see how it goes. So.
And we have getting trapped and sandwiched there. Bulleen take the ball. Luke Nielsen getting a tech foul there. Not very good of the captain to get a tech foul.
Chris Cameron in the face, but of course, the Bulleen player good enough to get over the top of the big man.
And apparently this year, like the women's, the Waverley Falcons have successfully collected quite a few new players.
Yeah, absolutely. So Chris Cameron and Jason Todoroff and who else? One of the other guys have come across from the Nunawading Siebel program.
Yep.
As Scotty Cuff gets 2 points there.
Stealth Threat having the, I guess, a tiny bit of an advantage, having his dad who played in the NBA alongside Michael Jordan.
Certainly did, yes. Carl Beston coming back to Waverley. Of course, he was a Waverley player a couple of years ago. Chris Cameron for 3 points. And the big man scores from deep outside. Scotty Cuff, again, too easy there. Now, Hugh, he's one of the guys that the Falcons have got to pay a lot of attention to.
Yes. And we have the Boomers, who are quite ahead of the play here.
As Ivan Platnik is unable to grab that rebound. Jimmy Todd a bit too strong there.
That's a foul.
Yep. Liam Norton also a very dangerous player as Carl Beston gets his own rebound and puts the ball up again. So the Bulleen Boomers out to a 4-point lead early in this first quarter.
Yes, and that does not help Waverley Falcons. Just like the other game.
Carl Beston picks up his second foul very, very quickly. Should force him to be subbed on. And on comes another ex-Waverley Falcon in Mark Whitehead. Mark played here for many, many years before going over to Ringwood. He played in the Ringwood program in a couple of teams, and Mark has picked up a foul.
And it's called on 34, Mark Whitehead.
So Mark was an established player with the Falcons when I first started coming along to support them. That was 15 years ago there, Hugh. So he's been he's been around that long. As Sadell Threat gets his second. 3-point ball game. Scotty Cuff with the ball. Goes out to Jimmy Todd. Jimmy Todd's jumper no good. Cameron with the rebound across to Nielsen. Nielsen to Sadell Threat. Threat looking for options. He drives. Kicks it out to Nielsen. 2 points. 1-point ball game.
Now we have Falcons. They're obviously trying hard, but they just can't get there.
It's early days there. As Jimmy Todd out to Whitehead, out to Liam Norton. Good from outside. Norton drains a 3. Adrian Campbell getting ready to check in. As Platnik ties it up. Tightens it up, I should say, not ties it up. It's a 2-point game now. 10, Waverley Falcons 10, Bulleen Boomers 12. And a very ordinary shot there from the import. That's Kennard Gadsden-Gillard. That's down the other end. 3 points. I think that was Threat, wasn't it?
No, that was Nielsen, I think.
Jimmy Todd. Another jumper that goes begging. Back to Threat this time. Nielsen. In and out. The veteran, Mark Whitehead with the rebound. Gives it off to Scotty Cuff. Big V boys call him the rotator. Todd out to Norton. Back into Kennard. So it's Gadsden Gillard. Scores. And down the other end, Chris Cameron over the top of Mark Whitehead. Liam Norton calling a fist play. And the ball out off Siddell Threat.
Subs for the Falcons, we have number 14 and number 10, Brad Kelleher and Tom Boyle.
So Tom Boyle and Adrian Campbell on the court. All the teams, oh, there's a foul. No basket. Should be before the shot. Yep. Adrian Campbell picks up his first. Resets the shot clock to 14 seconds. Of course, the FIBA rules now saying that that the shot clock will reset to 14 if the foul is within a certain area on the court. And Big V aligning themselves with the FIBA rulings. Nielsen stops, props, and scores there, Hugh.
Yes, that's great.
So all of a sudden the Falcons out to a 3-point lead.
Yes, a successful start from the Boomers, but then we just have the Falcons coming back, fighting back. You just can't beat the Falcons these days.
Yeah, Platnick working hard to get the ball there. Bulleen coach calls a timeout.
Yep.
And we'll take a short breather and be back with you in a couple of minutes. And as the refs bring the players in, it's a Falcons ball from the side. Siddell Threat working off a screen. He goes to the basket and he's fouled. And that was a fairly obvious one too. Brett Fennell arguing the toss a bit with the refs, but he's not going to win. He's not going to win. Falcons out to a 4-point lead, waiting on the second shot. Mark Whitehead doing some gardening duties there. And that worked. Very unusual to see Siddell Threat miss those free throws. Brett Fennell can't get past Tommy Boyle. Great D from Tom Boyle. Adrian Campbell just missed his footing slightly. And Falcons made to pay for that as Liam Norton drains a three. Jason Todoroff misses the 3 points. Good ball movement there from the Falcons. And Brett Fennell runs into his own player and Mark Whitehead and travels. So Derek McDonald on the court now.
Campbell passes it off. Stealth threat.
Very sneaky over the top of the head pass there.
Now Campbell, he taught our team layups because we missed them.
Ah, so you had some specialised training from him.
Yep, on the family though.
And there's an offensive foul against Threat called. Elbow. As Brad Keller comes on court. Cuff to Norton. Derek McDonald's shot misses. Luke Nielsen with the rebound. Luke Nielsen playing a few more minutes than he got last season, and he's relishing it. You can see that. Jason Todoroff fouled by the big man in Gadsden Gillard.
Foul's called on number 30.
So for those of you who are watching online at the moment, as Todoroff goes to the line, we apologise. We're having a bit of trouble with the stability of our stream today. But hopefully that'll all be resolved a little bit later on for you. Todd out to McDonald. McDonald drives and is fouled by Campbell.
Blocking foul caught against number 14, Adrian Campbell.
Well, he's been called for a foul on the shot. I don't think McDonald had any intention of going for the shot there. I think he was always shaping off to pass it off there. What are your thoughts down there?
Well, umpires do call some of the kind of shots inside the key, but if that was just outside the key, I don't reckon they would have called that.
Gallo with the rebound. A little bit of a tip there from Platnick on the way through. Todoroff over to Boyle. Boyle runs through a little bit too much. Back to Todoroff over. No basket. Norton bring the ball down. Shot goes up. Todoroff with a long shot. Doesn't quite go. And that's the end of the first quarter. End of the first quarter. And we'll be back in about a minute's time.
And we're back for the second quarter of the state championship. Men, starting with Waverley Falcons 18 points, Bulleen Boomers 17 points. And a starting air ball for the Boomers for the second quarter. Campbell, Boyle, kicks it off. Pump fake. And there we are. We have Ivan Platnick, star player. Setting a lot of plays, except really none of them have got screens in them.
So again, another foul against Bulleen puts Tom Boyle on the line. Tom, normally a very reliable shooter from the free throw line. I'm so pleased that he decided to not make a liar of me, Hugh.
Yep.
Well, maybe he had second thoughts.
Yeah.
He missed the second one. Liam Norton brings the ball down, guarded by Brad Kelleher. Scotty Cuff comes off the screen. Falcons switch on the screen and the ball has gone in, but there's a foul on Tom Boyle. Just reaching in there on Carl Besson. Ex-teammates, there's, as Tom goes to sit down. Cuff into Todd. Cuff shot off the screen, no good. Siddell threat with the rebound. Cameron. Call for hooking against Todd. There was a bit of push and shove both ways. Ref let it go for a little bit. And D-Mac is in the house. So you might see D-Mac there as the camera swings down, watching from the club rooms. Was D-Mac having a disappointing season with Melbourne United players. Almost got them into the finals as their interim coach. Missing out just in the last couple of games where I suppose you could say, Hugh, that the team imploded a little bit, didn't they? Brad Kelleher there with the three-pointer. Ball now with Scotty Cuff. He kicks it out to Beston. It wasn't Cuff, sorry. It was William Hoole. And there's Todorov missing the alley-oop. But great vision there from Brad Kelleher on that. And down the other end, Beston is fouled from behind. Big foul bump from Todorov. Probably not the smartest foul at that point in time. puts Falcons up to 3 points, 3 fouls.
Now, Beston hasn't got anything to do with it, but he's got very long socks.
Yeah. So he missed that one?
Yep. He's just hoping to get this one.
This is the second. Chris Cameron with the rebound. Todorov goes to work under the basket. Doesn't quite go. Platnick with the offensive rebound. Stolen there. As Beston gets the O-Reb, 2 O-Rebs. And the putback. 19, 26, well, 26, 19, depending which way you want to call it. Chris Cameron goes to work under the basket, and this time too good for Beston, who fouls. And we've had a bit of a change up in the court announcer. Chris Cameron with 2 points.
Seems like they forgot to turn a clock on.
Yeah, clock's not running. Now it's on. So Norton over to the big man, and Ivan Platnick just pushing through with his hips there, comes off his line. Call for the foul. Ivan not particularly happy with that call, but it was there. And a block there. Unfortunately, not taken advantage of by the Falcons, as Kelleher simply bombs one up. So Bulleen getting back into this game there, Hugh.
Yeah, they're
Norton.
only losing by 6 points now.
Norton's jumper doesn't go. Nielsen with the rebound over to Threat. Threat drives, finds Cameron. Cameron's three-point attempt is good. Falcons needed that. And look, that's a pretty good sign for the Falcons. They've got 2 big men in Chris Cameron and in Tom Boyle, both of whom are good from outside as well as inside. And with Platnick, a constant threat inside, as Kelleher this time doesn't make a mistake. It's going to stretch the defense on the opposition all the time. Threat with the seal. It's a 3-on-1. Threat goes to Platnick and puts it in. Todd having a bit of a go, friendly, with Brad Kelleher. Just a little bit of banter between the two of them. As as the Bulleen Boomers decide that they've got to have a bit of a chat about what they're going to do to bring it back in there. So 4:34 to go in the first half there, Hugh.
Yep. Now I can see the crowd has expanded quite a bit, putting some nerves onto the Boomers.
Yeah, and the Falcons have got out to a 13-point lead. The Boomers have got back within 5, and all of a sudden the Falcons are out to 13.
Yes.
If they can, again, just keep this level of intensity up, this is going to be really quite an issue for the Boomers themselves. So Boomers ball from the baseline.
Yep.
Cuff, long ball, down the floor. Todd sets the screen, but it's illegal. Todd being spoken to also by the ref. Very lucky not to get called for delay of game there, where he threw the ball away, or even a technical, perhaps, Hugh.
Yeah.
Adrian Campbell on the floor for Siddell Threat. Finds Platnick. Platnick out to Keller. Keller, three-point attempt, no good. Rebounded by Bulleen. That's Scotty Cuff. So Joshy Wallace calls the play, which ends up with a two-point shot for their big man in Gadsden Gillard. Down the other end, Nielsen having a field day today. We'll try and get you Nielsen's scores in a minute, but great defense there from the Falcons. Forces a turnover, and down the other end, Kelleher, 2 points, fouled by Wallace, and he'll go to the line. Todd. Over the deep corner, it doesn't go. It's too easy there for Nielsen. There wasn't anybody from Bulleen boxing out there. Ball's gone into Platnick. That's what he's so good at doing. Get him the ball under the basket there, and he very rarely misses. Another miss from Bulleen. We'll get the stats at halftime and have a bit of a rundown over them.
Yeah.
Cameron's turnaround jumper, no good. Back to Wallace. Wallace is calling the play. Scotty Cuff off the double screen. Keeps their Bulleen's hopes alive.
We have number 5 and number 10. Tom Boyd and Sedell Threat Jr.
Still Threat coming back on, and I can't remember the other one.
Tom Boyle.
Tom Boyle. Tom Boyle.
Tom Boyle, you should know Tom Boyle. Tom
Yeah.
Boyle was a Timberwolf. So grew up playing his basketball through here from under 8s all the way up. Has not played with any other club. It's either been
At the founding call, number 5, Brett Fennell. Paddy will go for the last quarter.
It's either been Waverley Falcons or his domestic team in Timberwolves. So until he went over to the States, very first Waverley Falcon player to make a college team. Since then, of course, Hugh, we've had quite a number as Ivan Platnick puts one away. Well, I have to qualify that statement about Tom being the very first one. The first one in recent history, so perhaps in the last 10 years. There may very well have been other players that have made it there, but not that we know about. Falcons are in the bonus, and Mark Whitehead picking up two free throws. Not able to convert. Down to Threat. Well, 3 points. This is really dangerous for Bulleen. Brett Fennell there with 2 points. Again, very, very lucky not to be given a delay of game. Violation. And
There's a siren.
that's the halftime break. Neither player able to reel in the ball. And we'll take a break at this point in time and be back with you in about 7 or 8 minutes.
And we are back for the state championship men's team playing off against the Bulleen Boomers. And Waverley Falcons up by 16 points, 46-30. And in the third quarter, there's a lot of pressure going into Bulleen, only down by 16 and need a lot more points.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And if the Falcons come out anything like they did in the second quarter, Bulleen could have a very, very ordinary afternoon. And the Falcons get the first taste of the ball.
Nielsen kicks it to Sedell Threat. Sedell Threat off, keeps.
No basket. Great move there from Chris Cameron. Great seal on Beston. Now that's going to be dangerous for Beston. I think that's his fourth, maybe? No, it's his fifth. It's his fifth. So Beston out of the game. Which puts Mark Whitehead in. Mark at his age would not be expecting to play these sort of minutes. He's going to have to.
It's not a very good feeling getting 5 having to sit off, especially this early into the game.
No, have you had experience of that, have you?
Yep. One of my first games of rep.
And Threat goes up and is fouled on the way through. Sorry, Platnick, I think.
Foul forward, number 3, for Bulleen.
Yes, 47-32. Falcons not quite cruising at this stage, but certainly dominant as Scotty Cuff goes back down the other way. Great steal from him. He's been very, very good for Bulleen. Platnick turns, finds his way. Oh, great basket over the top of the opposition big man. Todd looks. Well, he had too much time on that shot. Cameron misses. Platnick with the rebound, the shot, and there's head contact there. Todd also now in foul trouble.
32, foul. 2 shots.
No, only his second. But that was interesting because the way he walked off there, Hugh. I've caught Hugh with a mouthful of food. The way he actually walked off there, it looked as if he was in foul trouble there. Whitehead back to Norton. Off to Cuff. Cuff drives. Shot no good. Threat to Cameron. Cameron. Oh. Air ball. Which you can hear from the crowd. So Norton bring the ball down. Ball's kicked out, misses. Nielsen with the rebound over the top of his teammate Platnick. Threat, finds Platnick on the, and there it is. Great basket there. So Threat has great vision on the court. He'll often find players, and there's the steal from, and another rebound.
And 20 points up, we have Waverley Falcons and
Whitehead.
Bulleen Boomers trying to come back on this one.
Mark Whitehead wanting a foul call, but the ball has come off his knee. And Brad Kelleher drives very quickly down the other end. On the end, some good work from Threat. Platnick defending. Forces a bad shot, and here's Platnick down the other end, over to Threat, and back up again. We've just lost our floor wiper. The minute, so the ref's doing that. I don't know where he's gone. But there's a reset on that.
Yep.
Falcon.
Yep.
Cuff. Back out to Whitehead. Whitehead shot short. He gets his own rebound though, finger roll and scores. Whitehead defending Cameron. Cameron just forcing his way in there. Kicks the ball out to Nielsen. Doesn't go from three-point attempt, but all the Bulleen defenders expecting him to go to the basket there were not ready for that shot. And Adrian Campbell with quick hands got the steal, but unfortunately stolen straight back by Norton. Kelleher. Oh no. But Cameron keeps it alive. Back out to Platnick. Again, Falcons just starting to get a little bit loose in their passes. And Cameron this time picking up the rebound after a missed layup attempt from Platnick is fouled. Bulleen, one foul away from the bonus.
South Coast Falcons, number 11 and number 45. Replacing number 45.
And the crowd's still very good there, Hugh. No one's left at this point in time, which is good.
No one's left yet.
Cameron with the 2-point single. I'll try again. Cameron with his first of two. And his second. Of course, Chris Cameron, ex-NBL with the Singapore Slingers, which was a brief stint. Slingers, of course, only played, I think, the 2 seasons in the NBL. And having come back from there, he spent a season with Falcons and then went off to Nunawading. So it's a welcome return back to Chris. He was always a favourite in the crowd and amongst the supporters here at Waverley. Ivan Pladnick having picked up the latest foul, and Gadsden Gillard at the line has missed both of his free throws. This time Ivan gets the rebound, kicks it off to Kelleher, who kicks back out to Todorov. Todorov's shot too strong, goes over the top. McDonald driving hard, can't find Cuff. Pladnick back to Campbell, up to Pladnick, and Pladnick is fouled this time by McDonald.
Fantastic play there. Ivan just getting the foul. Fantastic play, and it will send him to the line.
Gets his first. 61 plays 38. Misses the second. In the past, opposition teams would love to put Ivan on the line as Jimmy Todd converts 2. But in the past few seasons, Ivan is not the person that you want on the foul line anymore, because he's probably about a 60% foul throw shooter at this point in time of his career. So Threat back on for Kello.
Yep.
Gadsden Gillard misses his reverse layup. Campbell not able to control the ball on the way out. Cuff to Gillard. McDonald. No good. Rebound Cuff. Ref indicating he believes it left the hand before the shot clock expired. Tom Boyle being picked up for a push there. Cuff had the ball and was going to take off, but Todorov was able to shut him down. McDonald now across to Cuff, over to Norton. Norton back to Cuff.
Puts
Cuff
up the shot. Poor shot there.
Another rebound to Pladnick.
Still Threat, usual job here. You can see they've changed the Falcons jumpers this year.
Yep, new uniform for a lot of teams this season.
Yep.
It's now a league requirement that the Big V logo be on the uniform, so that's meant a change of strip for just about every team. And so Falcons taking advantage of the requirement to get a new home and away strip. Tom Boyle's three-point attempt, no good. Norton with the ball. Oh, Tom Boyle picks up the intercept. That was pretty much delivered straight into his hands by Norton. Back out to Platnick. Platnick out to Todorov. Todorov's 3 points. And threat. Caught Norton from behind.
Foul Collins, Sedell Fred. Subs cover, number 11, with 5:45.
Thought he got all ball there. It certainly sounded like it, but the refs were right on top of that particular piece of action. So, and Scotty Cuff on a fairly simple inbound situation. Falcons coming off a double screen, kicking the ball around. Boom is finally able to convert again through Scott Cuff, who was indicating to the refs that he thought there was some head contact there. Andy Sherwell calls the boys in at the break, with the Falcons up by 20 points, 66 to 46. So really that was pretty even on both teams that quarter. It was, can I say, uninspired. Right. Okay, hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you're back online again. Again, I apologise for the inconsistency of our stream today. We seem to be having a lot of issues, no matter which network we connect to. As Liam Norton brings the ball down. Over to Jimmy Todd. Todd can't convert. And there, Tom Boyle knocked to the ground there. No call. Todd's arm appeared to come straight across his head.
Calling a play there. Called yellow.
Threat comes off the screen, pulls up. Doesn't quite go. Todorov with the rebound and the putback. 68-46. Falcons ahead. Great defense there from the Falcons. And Adrian Campbell, the smallest man on the court, gets the rebound.
Well, there's really no one to rebound against there.
And Todorov goes to the basket, is fouled, put back by Tom Boyle, is waved away.
South forward Bulleen, number 22, is on for at number 21.
Todorov gets the first. Misses the second. Norton with the ball now. Beston back on the court. I thought he had 5 fouls. And that's exactly what Andy Sherwell
and a bit of an argument here. Apparently they're saying 4. And the stats people just said he's got 5 fouls, and that proves a 5 foul. He is off. He's not allowed on.
So that's a tech foul now. It's a tech foul.
Is he on 5 fouls?
Yes, he is. So that's a tech foul because they've put him on the court. Yeah, it'll be a bench tech. So that's a basic error there from the coach there, because Tom Boyle picks up 2 points. Basic error from the coach and his assistants. They should have known that he was on 5 fouls because he fouled out early in the 3rd quarter. Sedell Threat drives all the way down, finds Todorov. Todorov not able to convert. Whitehead with a great rebound. Finds Cuff. Cuff travels, but refs don't call it. Todorov slips. And Derek McDonald with a 3-point attempt doesn't go. Nielsen back on the floor for the Falcons. Gives the ball to Thread, gets it back from Thread and puts 3 points up. And now it's a timeout. So the Bulleen crowd not particularly happy with that last little passage of play there.
Yep. We might get some video footage of them.
I have no doubt that they'll be wanting to check out the footage. And of course they'll be able to do that online. So somewhere tomorrow, all of the games will be up on YouTube. Both the champ women and the men's.
Only one foul for this last quarter. They obviously don't want to get any players fouled off, which is quite usual.
So Jimmy Todd inbounds the ball to Liam Norton. Back into Todd. Todd floated, doesn't go. Whitehead with the rebound. Little reverse hook shot, but he's fouled on the way through.
A foul at number 10 for Falcons.
Tom Boyle picks it up.
2 shot for Bulleen, number 84.
Mark gets his first. Makes his second. Kelleher kicks it down. It's finally got to Matt Bangers.
Unlucky shot for Falcons.
Of course, that's Matt Bongetti. And there's a foul there.
A big foul, it's another Prince. Oh.
So Derek McDonald picks up the foul. Court announcer jokingly called it on Threat, but Threat was fouled. Threat goes to the baskets, finds Boyle. Boyle with 2 points. So finally the refs have called a delay of game.
And that's a sub. Number 10 is on front of the 7 for Falcons.
Why did he go off? Just subbed off.
He didn't return the ball very quickly, so he's been subbed off. Chris Cameron back on the court for him. Matt Bongetti drives, finds Threat. Almost didn't. Threat into Todorov. Todorov goes to the basket. Doesn't make the shot, but is fouled.
Falcons losing foul. Number 7. And a sub. Sigal Prince is on for number 23.
So into the game for his first minutes is Luke Gerke, number 23.
Sub for Bulleen, number 24.
4 minutes 57 seconds to go. The lead has ballooned out 76-52. 24 points. Good rebound there by Bulleen. through William Hall. Derek McDonald taking on Gerke. Looking to hook the ball into Mark Whitehead. Missed the target. And the subsequent shot not good. Jason Todorov not able to get it in there, but there's Matt Bongetti. 78-52, Falcons way. Norton's shot doesn't go. Back out to through Cameron, out to Bongetti. Now, and Kelleher loses the handle. Norton drives, is fouled.
Sub for Bulleen.
I'm not certain. Who did you see that on, Hugh? I thought that was on Gerke.
Not entirely sure there.
Norton with the second. So Falcons
A sub for Bulleen, number 4. On for over edge.
lose control of the ball, and in comes a couple of subs there for Bulleen. Chris Cameron nearly with a huge pass down the court. Over to Kelleher. Kelleher drives. And a big reject there from Derek McDonald. Just like you getting up that high?
Nope.
No? Or is that your brother, Kai?
Nope.
So 2 points good, but a tech against number 3, Brad Keller. Must have said something as he hit the ground there. No, it was not anything he said. As he fell, he pushed the ball away, and because of the previous warning on delay of game, immediate tech foul there.
And that's Falcons ball.
Keller misses the pull-up jumper.
Yep.
Derek McDonald. Derek McDonald with the floater doesn't go. Back down to Keller. Keller won't miss this.
And that's a 2.
Gerke there for the follow-up, but wasn't needed. Wallace over to Gatson Gillard. And number 2, Christopher Hoyle, finishes it off. Kelleher out to Gerke. Short, Matt Bongetti. And there's a timeout. No. A sub.
Number 3 is up for the nine. That's starting 4 right now.
So Bulleen actually starting to, as Cameron picks up another 3, Bulleen just looking completely out of sorts at the moment. Body language on the bench is not good at all. Falcons looking quite relaxed on the other hand. As Norton coming back into the game, picks the ball up, is guarded by Gurkey. Trying to come off a screen. Cameron, too smart, switches on it.
Now, 23, he doesn't look very tall, but he can certainly dunk. In training, saw him dunking. Surprised none of these players have attempted one of those.
Brad Kelleher exhorting his teammates to play as if the game was a drawn game. He wants calling the play. 36 seconds to go. Falcons will go out with a win here. Just missed that shot. Cameron, oops, there's a injury. So blood rule. Have to go get the blood kit.
Jason Todoroff waiting for this play to happen.
Just over 20 seconds to go. Waverley leading, heading on.
So 21.3 seconds to go, and Waverley leading 89 to 53, both on 3 fouls. And Andrew's gone to get the kit to clean the court. And there's the game. Finished off. And the scores 89-58. And both teams on 3 fouls.
Waverley won 89-58. Thank you for coming. Watch it again.
So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the game, Waverley Falcons run out 89-58 winners. Thanks, Hugh, very much for all your efforts today. It's been fantastic.
Yep.
Hopefully we will be here next weekend, those of you who are watching online and who are watching on YouTube. We'll sign off now and see you next week.